Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunarose Tarot and Astrology. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a special pick a card reading. We are going to look at this Mars retrograde energy. Guys, Mars is actually fixing to move direct in the sign of Cancer on February 23rd or 24th. I guess it just depends on which side of the astrology you're on. But I do want to remind everyone that that really doesn't matter because the Mars shadow period, retrograde shadow period, will actually last all the way until May. So we have been in Mars retrograde since December 6th, guys. December 6th. I'm going to talk to you about collectively how that energy may have felt for you, what lessons we should have learned from this retrograde, right? And then I'm also going to break it down into all the zodiac signs as to what it is that you could be learning at this very moment, right? And then we're going to do a very fun pick a card, three groups, guys. So you only have to pick one, two, or three. And we'll look at how that energy is going to work out. Guys, please remember we are multi streaming. So I am on Facebook, YouTube, and I believe TikTok. We're still very new over here on TikTok, so I'm still learning all the buttons, guys. I know that I'm not hitting all the right buttons, but I promise to get better over there. A sister is going to join us and help us on TikTok tonight, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I found the tarot category. I forgot to let her know. So I do believe that we're finally in the right category, so that should help tremendously, right? And then, of course, we're also on Facebook and YouTube. So, welcome everyone. I see Sandra coming in. Choosing Divine Women's Self Care. Dina's with us. Sandra, Diana, welcome, ladies. Welcome. All right, let me get my little video out. I got something for you guys to watch while I go over this Mars retrograde energy. And I know you're thinking, like, Rosa, haven't we talked about this already? Yes, we did. And it's because it's super important. And we're going to talk about it again. Guys, Mars only goes retrograde every couple of years. And every time it does, it's definitely a challenging energy, especially if you're not used to Aries energy, right? So Mars is the natural ruler of Aries, and it's what gives us our fire. It's what gives us our fight. It's what gives us these hands. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like that energy could be, I don't know, you may not be as accustomed to it as I am. So I'm going to talk to you about why this Mars retrograde was so important and what I think we all may have learned from it, right? All right, let me jump right in. Guys, three groups tonight. So you only have to pick one, two, or three. Now, I will say I'm looking at three different areas of life. So it's very possible that you'll pick up energy or messages in the other two readings as well. But I am going to suggest that you use your intuition, one, two, or three. Don't dilly dally back and forth. Just pick the first number that comes to you, write it down, and stick with it, right? All right, let's get to it. So Mars retrograde, again, it's going to end on the 23rd or the 24th, depends on, who we're listening to, right? Remember, those shadow periods of retrograde energy will last all the way until May. And this retrograde, remember, retrograde is an opportunity to revisit that planet's energy, right? So this retrograde was a time of introspection, reevaluation, and redirection of energy, especially in the area of your life that was ruled by Cancer. I know you thought I was fixing to say Aries because of Mars, but no, it's Cancer. Because remember, guys, when Mars retrograde started, it was actually in Leo. It moved back into Cancer, moved into Leo, and then went back into Cancer. My ears are ringing. Someone special must be joining us. But so what happened was Leo is that like really passionate drive type of energy, divine timing, welcome. And that really passionate drive is going to be more towards like what it is that you want, right? Think about it. What are you passionate about? What drives you, right? And Cancer energy, remember, Cancer is the mother archetype. It's that energy of self-care, nurturing, healing. um Cancers make the best, caregivers, right? My sister is a Cancer and she's been taking very good care of me this winter, right? So that energy, Mars is not necessarily very comfortable there, right? Which makes sense because I'm the Aries in my family, right? Mars definitely rules my chart, and it's definitely a very aggressive energy. I'm one of those people that, like, I had to have a spiritual awakening to learn about self-care, because otherwise I would have never learned what that word meant or done any of those things. You know what I'm trying to say? So the energy of Cancer, Mars retrograde in Cancer, is really what the struggle was with this particular retrograde. That's why it was so challenging. That's why so many of us felt like we were so emotional at times, and then at other times we were so aggressive, right? Maybe you might have thought you were dealing with a little extra mental disorders than you actually were, right? And it really literally was just because Mars was retrograde in Cancer. The good thing about this is, and I know this is going to sound funny to some of you, but the good thing about this was that everybody on the planet dealt with this energy. So that means we all had to revisit our Mars energy, right? And we had to learn how to deal with that energy properly. So collectively, we dealt with things like emotional intensity, again, because Mars in Cancer heightens our emotional sensitivity and reactivity, right? And because the collective was could be feeling like very defensive and protective at this time, it easily triggered us, especially around issues of home, family, and security. That's that Cancer energy. We also did some reevaluating with our own emotional needs. So we were definitely encouraged to reflect on how we express our anger, our assertiveness, our desire for emotional context, right? So there could have been a collective push to address unresolved family or emotional issues. I know I'm definitely dealing with that. Challenges with assertiveness, so Mars retrograde in Cancer, could have made it harder for us to take direct action. Instead, energy may have felt more internalized, leading to kind of some passive aggressiveness or frustration. And then, of course, that Cancer energy again had us very focused on our home and family. So it was like we were drawn to address these matters and these issues so that we could move forward resolving all family conflict, right? So if you guys are listening to me, you're like, Rosa, I don't know what you're talking about. Since December 6th, let me know in the comments. Have you guys been feeling or dealing with this type of energy? I feel like I definitely have, and I feel like the family situation is like, ding, 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 win, win, all the things. And I think that my assertiveness was definitely a situation. Like, I feel like there was times where I was definitely over assertive. That's going to be my Aries energy. I feel like since this Mars retrograde started, Spirit has definitely been like, Rosa, find some compassion. I'm having to be told to move from my head space to my heart space way more often than I recall having been told before. Um, I will say that it is getting easier for me to do, right? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've dealt with all that stuff, and it was very, very challenging. But I also feel like it helps me with practicing emotional awareness. It's like it made me more mindful of what my triggers are, especially my emotional triggers. And I definitely feel like as we went through this Mars retrograde, I was able to revisit like past situations and see where I didn't handle other triggers very well, right? And maybe even the same trigger repeatedly over and over and over, right? So it was like when it happened again during the Mars retrograde, and I mean, it happened several times, but this last time that it happened, I realized what was happening. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to see that trigger, like, I don't know, ahead of me. Not true, I was in it, but it was like it had just started. I had just started to react the way that I normally react. You know what I'm trying to say? And I was like, wait a minute, Rosa. I thought we don't watch reruns anymore. We're done. We're done with the reruns, right? So it was like I immediately called my energy back. And yeah, like that was it. I moved on. It did not affect the rest of my day. I refused to let it affect the rest of my day. So I feel like the triggers are like we're seeing them easier through this Mars retrograde, and we're overcoming them. And some of us, not all of us, but some of us are even getting to where we're, I mean, I don't want to say enjoying the triggers, but some of us are starting to like them a little because it's almost like we understand that every time we experience some triggering energy that makes us react in a, not good way, it's like we understand that if we can change that reaction to a response, right? Or no response, we level up, right? Like we level up and continue. So I just want to point out, like, I'm not going to say I like the triggers or I'm friendly with the triggers, but I'm definitely getting to that place in my spiritual awakening journey where it's like I understand that it's helping me become a stronger, wiser, smarter, braver me, right? Arisha, hello. We are doing a pick a card tonight, guys. A pick a card. I do want to break down all of the zodiac signs just really quickly. It won't take but just a minute before we get started because, guys, you're going to be feeling this energy. If you are not feeling it already, I would be super surprised. And I feel like this weekend may be some type of um test. I don't know if you guys noticed the chart I posted on Facebook. I put the current astrology up. We got so much going on in Pisces, and there is so much happening this weekend that I definitely feel like this weekend could be a very big test of some sort. And what I mean by that is, again, what did you learn through the Mars retrograde? Did you learn to talk to your family properly? Did you learn to have accountability? Did you learn to, I don't know, take responsibility for your actions? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like this weekend may be a time when we're going to implement what we learned. And I find that super interesting because I kept feeling like Spirit was telling me we're going to talk about, we're going to do a weekend reading on Thursday. So I was thinking like a weekend reading, like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then when we got here, it was like I get the Mars retrograde energy, and I was like, okay, I understand, but how does this fit into this weekend? All right, so I feel like this weekend is this energy where all the energy that you have with Saturn and Neptune, everything that's happening in Pisces right now is all of those planets that are like the teacher planets, the principal planets, a little bit of trickster energy as well. But it's definitely going to be something that may arise, and you're like, man, I've seen this show before, and I'm going to respond in a different way. I'm not going to let this thing take my energy, right? I'm going to use this passionate and creative energy for good, right? So let's break down all 12 signs and see how that may work for you. So starting with Aries, guys, okay, I normally do not say sun, moon, or rising because that drives me nuts. I study your birth charts. You have all 12 pieces of the pie. I cannot express that enough. Even if you don't have any planets in a particular house, you still have that house. Like, for example, second house is assets, right? Like your money, the things you own. everyone has a second house. So even if you don't have a planet in the second house, there's going to be a sign that rules over that second house, right? And that sign is going to tell you what type of energy you're going to have around your money, right? So when I read for like when we break down into like the zodiac, I'm looking at my chart and I'm correlating like all 12 signs with my chart. That's how I recommend everybody do tarot readings, okay? And I know that that's like different than what you're used to, but guys, it's 2025, right? But when we're doing these particular energies and I'm breaking down like how you may feel based on an astrological event. Now I'm going to tell you to use your sun, moon, or rising. And honestly, out of all three of those, I would say your rising should be the one that sticks the most, right? Like that's going to be the one that I feel is going to be the closest. All right, so let's get started. Aries, the challenge you may have felt during this retrograde in Mars, Mars in retrograde period, could have been frustration with delays in personal goals or conflicts at home. I can account to both of those. I have Aries Sun, my Mars is in Aries. I also have Mercury and Aries. So there's a lot of energy, Aries energy. Opportunity that you're going to have with this retrograde to learn is to use this time to reconnect with family and reflect on your emotional needs. Aries, you're super bad about telling people what you need emotionally. For real. You're super bad about telling people what you need, period, especially like something physical. But when it comes to emotional, it's even more so because you're such a Aries is such a like surface, I don't know, in your face type of sign, right? The internal is definitely hidden. You'll hear a lot of people say that the outside of Aries is very scary, right? Fiery, has the torch, gonna burn it down, right? But inside, very soft and gooey. And I can account for that. It's totally very true. All right, Taurus, April 20th through May 20th. So your challenge during this retrograde was miscommunications or unresolved issues with siblings or close friends and family. And again, that may have actually happened already. So your opportunity is going to be to revisit old conversations and heal misunderstandings, strengthen your emotional bonds with your loved ones. All right, Gemini, May 21st through June 20th. So your challenge with this, Mars retrograde was financial or emotional insecurities. Could have like resurfaced something you've suppressed, held down, especially related to family or home, Gemini. And the opportunity you're going to have here is to reevaluate your relationship with money and security and focus on creating a stable emotional foundation. All right, Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd. So, your challenge with the Mars retrograde was feeling that and I feel like you've been in this energy for a while, Cancer, because Mars, remember, retrograde in Cancer, the back and forth is definitely going to be something that shook you up, I feel like. But it's a lack of motivation or direction in personal goals. So, your opportunity with this energy is going to be to reflect on your identity and how you assert yourself. And you want to reconnect with your emotional core. All right, Leo, this is July 23rd through August 22nd. So, your challenge would have been hidden emotions, unresolved past issues, all these things could have snuck up on you and come to light. So, excuse me. This would have been an opportunity for you, Leo, to dive into your subconscious and heal old wounds. Focusing on your spiritual and emotional growth will be important at this time as you move through the shadow period into May. All right, Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. So your challenge with the Mars retrograde was conflicts with friends and social groups. And again, they may have already happened. So the opportunity you have here is to reassess your social connections and focus on nurturing supportive relationships. Libra, September 23rd through October 22nd. So your challenge was career or public image, could have had some shakeup and definitely could have felt frustrating. Your opportunity with this energy is going to be to reflect on your long-term goals and how they align with your emotional needs. And you want to reconnect with your sense of purpose. Scorpio, October 23rd through November 21st, your challenge was most likely something to do with travel or educational plans, and you may have faced delays or obstacles in those situations. Your opportunity here is going to be to use the time to expand your emotional horizons and explore new perspectives. Sagittarius. So, your challenge with the Mars retrograde was emotional or financial insecurities, but they could have been related to resources that like may have resurfaced. Your opportunity here is going to be to reassess your relationship with intimacy and shared resources, focusing on healing and trust building. Capricorn, December 22nd through January 19th. Your challenge during the retrograde was conflicts in close relationships, especially related to emotional needs. Surprise. Opportunity here is going to be to reconnect with your partner or loved ones on a deeper emotional level and focus on compromise and understanding. If y'all knew my journey, you would think that I was making that up, but I promise I'm not. All right, Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th. Your challenge was work or health related. I feel like you could have had some type of work or health disruptions or frustrations. So your opportunity here is going to be reassessing your daily habits and focus on creating a nurturing and balanced lifestyle. All right, Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. So your challenge was creative projects or romantic relationships. You could have faced some delays or misunderstandings in those departments. And your opportunity here is going to be to reconnect with your creative passions and focus on emotional expression. Strengthen your romantic bonds through open communication. All right, guys. So I hope this information is helpful. The retrograde in Cancer is definitely a challenging time. It was for all of us. Again, it's going to end on the 23rd, 24th. We do have shadow periods, which just means that that energy will kind of fade out from now into May. So let's just kind of keep that in mind as we go forward, because what's going to happen is I feel, and I'm just kind of, this is just my Rosa gas spirits, not whispering in my ear at the moment or anything like that. But I feel that as we move forward, especially through this weekend, we're going to be given the opportunity to turn a lot of aggression into creativity and love, of course. So I hope that we all make those good choices, and that's where we put our focus as we climb out of this Mars retrograde energy, right? All right, guys, I hope it was helpful. Okay, so here's what I'm going to look at, the three different groups. Has everybody got their number? I, of course, am picking three, but we're picking 1 through 3 tonight. That's our groups. I will timestamp. Let me grab a paper. Sherry says a lot of Aries for me. Michelle says we'll have to be aware of that scam moving forward. That's scary. What's that about? I gotta go read the comments, y'all. Sherry picks group number 2. I missed something. What happened? Now I'm all nosy and I want to know. And I'm getting in trouble. I'll have to go back later and look. Oh, Vanessa, I hope you're okay. Whatever it was. Oh, I see. All right, guys. So here's what we're looking at: the emotional intensity, your trigger, how you respond, how your new response will be received. And then, of course, we're going to pull some spiritual guidance. I'm going to use the Angel Inspiration deck. I'm hoping to summon Miss L. Miss L gifted those to me. Guys, I do want to talk to you about one more thing. I'll get some words out in a minute before we get started. Um, so I know I've been mentioning my summer job is coming back, remember? And I know that you guys are like, Rosa, it's February 20th. I understand, guys, it's like 3 degrees outside right now. It's 3 degrees outside, and I wore this brown sweater, so now it looks like I have floating hands. And I noticed it right before the live, and I was like, it's 3 degrees. I'm not gonna go take it off, and I don't have time to change. So floating hands it is tonight. um, but I do want to mention that it's very possible, um, very, very soon, maybe even this Sunday, um, that our Sunday night lives. Um, Remember last summer when I worked and sometimes we had to do the lives from the car and we had to make a video and play a pretty video in the background and that kind of thing. Very possible that I may have to do that at first, a couple of times maybe, because we're still in the process of fixing the camper up. And of course, as we fix it up, we continue to find new things that need to be fixed and worked on. But I'm not panicking. Everything's going to be okay. I have a lot of faith that it's going to be put together and ready. But I also have some other news. My boss lady actually informed me yesterday that the season is starting 3 weeks early. So yeah, so March 15th instead of, April 1st, like I was thinking. So yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. So if Sunday we don't get to see cards and there's just a pretty picture and playing, just bear with me as we work our way through the YouTube lottery. One day we will get there and I won't have to have a summer job and we'll just do tarot all the time. But until then, I just want to give everybody a heads up because I do believe that I will be going down this weekend, and then it's very possible that I may go on Sunday, and it's very possible that we'll have to do the live, from wherever I'm at. And I don't think that the camper is going to be, picture camera ready. Um, yeah, so I'm just giving everybody a heads up. We're still going to do Sunday Night Live. I promise we won't miss it. But it just may, look a little bit different. Michelle says, all will work out just fine. You always do a great job explaining the cards. Yes. I'm actually going to use tarot tonight for the main spread, and I'm using the regular Rider-Waite cards that we all know, right? And I'm going to give you those basic meanings to them. I do this on purpose. It is going to teach you how to read tarot. Guys, I don't have any magic abilities. I'm never going to come out here and be like, oh, I'm your next, whatever. I don't know nothing. Like I'm having an awakening and spirits like, build it and they will come, and y'all did. So that's what we're doing here at PLR. But I think it's important that we use the tools that spirit gives us. And I think it's important that we take off all of the negativity that people have put on these tools so that we would stay stuck and repeating the same BS over and over and over, right? So tonight, some regular Rider-Waite, and if you want to grab a notebook, you might get a new meaning to a new card tonight. Guidance is going to come from Angel Inspiration, and I am going to read it out of the book. Oh, Vanessa says, what piles were we picking from? Okay, so you have group 1, 2, or 3, but I'm actually going to look at your love life in group 1, your work situation in group 2, And what did I pick? Your home situation for group 3. These are all 3 places that you may experience some triggers. Somebody may piss you off, right? So that's what we're looking at. But I want you just to pick one. And I don't want you to pick based on what I just told you. I want you to pick 1, 2, or 3, like I said at the beginning. And then, yeah, and then it's possible that you'll still get other messages, right? Because you may get something from the work one, right? Like there may be somebody, Vanessa, trying to piss you off at work, and you might get a message from that too. But Spirit said tell you to pick one. So I feel like one is going to be maybe more important than the others. I don't know. I just listen over here. I picked 3. All right, let's timestamp 3011 because I seen it for group 1. All right, and remember group 1, I'm focusing on love. So this is definitely something that you could be dealing with in a love relationship. And the first card I'm starting with is going to be the emotional intensity. And I'm looking at like the who, what, wheres, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for. I remember we used to have this one person. She used to make fun of the way I shuffled my cards. She was like, "You shuffle them like poker cards," and I was like, "Oh, well, how are you supposed to shuffle them?" But just so you all know, like back in the day, tarot was read with regular playing cards. All right. The emotional intensity for group 1. Here we go. Super emotional. The Hierophant comes out. The 6 of Wands comes out. And the 3 of Cups comes out. The Hierophant is really easy. It literally means spouse, a marriage. So the emotional intensity is high. And the energy this is around could have something to do with third party. And you could have like found something out if you picked group 1. And it's not sounding so great, is it? Again, Mars retrograde. It was a test. Like, are you gonna beat this person up, or are you going to learn to love them unconditionally? And I want to point out, guys, third party is karmic energy. It does not always have to mean that there was another person. Not always. In fact, many times, many times when people are talking about karmic energy or third party, okay, so the 3 of Cups means that there's too many hands in the pot. Okay, so that means that there's too many people telling someone what to do, what their expectations are, what it is that they want from them. You see? So this could be a job that treats someone poorly, right? Like doesn't pay them enough, doesn't give them enough money, gives them a crappy schedule. It could be affecting your home situation. You see what I'm trying to say? So third parties does not always have to mean that someone cheated or if there's another person involved. And I think more tarot readers should tell you that. But I think the reason that they don't is because, well, that's not as enticing, right? Like it's not as good if I come out here and go, oh, your man might be working too much, where you'd be like, well, hell yeah, I hope so. You know what I'm saying? But that's not, it's like more exciting if I come out here and go, oh, whoever picked group 1, your man might have somebody else telling him what to do. I mean, come on. It sounds, way crazier that way, right? It's going to trigger more people, right? I think really honestly, if you picked group 1, too many people telling this person what to do. too many people telling this person what to do. And I feel like whatever they did to you, um, definitely, it could be something about ignoring you. That definitely could have caused some triggers. You could have felt like people, like this person wasn't paying attention to you, but really, I don't even feel like it was like intentional. Maybe it was, I don't know. But it's more like there was someone or something else that was like hounding at this energy. This energy is much more like overtaking. All right, group one, let's see, what was your trigger? What was your trigger? Why am I saying it in past tense? You guys ever notice that happens sometimes? I've noticed it a couple of times now. So it's like maybe this already happened. All right, group one. Ooh, the death card comes out. I heard the word stomp when I turned the card over. So I don't think anybody died. It's the death card. But I think that something could have came to an end, and I think that someone could feel, and the Hierophant's in this card too. I don't know if I've ever pointed that out to you guys. But I feel like you feel like someone just, I don't know, stomped your heart. I mean, they could have left, ended something in a rash or cold way. This could have something to do with ghosting. But it's like it caused some type of, it caused you to feel some type of way. Wow. The death card, the world card, the emperor. So I'm looking at your trigger. Um, how you respond compared to how you used to respond, right? That's kind of the energy I'm looking at. It feels like someone stomped on your heart, group one, and you have an opportunity here, or you took the opportunity. I keep feeling like this is past tense, like you've already done this. And it's very recent, like this happened. But it's like what could be recent is that you took your power back, the emperor, that Aries energy, that Mars energy. Um, Instead of fighting with the person like maybe you did before, it was like there's no fights now. No words are said. I'm not exerting myself. I'm not letting any oxygen or breath out for this situation anymore. Tell me I'm right. It's pretty direct. And I feel like it was recent. Like it happened. You did it. All right, group one. So you responded by calling your power back. So now let's see how that response is received. And I think this is the new part. So this already happened. You could have also, like maybe this person stomped on your heart before and you're like, you know what, this time I'm going to do it, something like that. That's very possible as well. Doesn't matter, because what happened was you called your power back. Now your power is within you. You're not giving it to this person. There's no arguments. There's no reruns, right? The Sun card is coming out. There's that Eight of Wands that we've seen, and the Seven of Wands is coming out. So how it's received, so the Sun card, bright joy and happiness, but it's also the card that shows like the child. It's also a card that represents immaturity. So it's like someone, here's what I'm getting from this energy if you picked group one. I feel like this is one of those people that pokes the bear And then when you react, they're like, oh, she's crazy. She's so mean. She's so whatever. Oh, poor me. And I think that this time you realize that, you saw it, and you're like, you know what? I'm not playing this game anymore. And you just took your toys and went home, right? And now this person's crying they can't play with your toys anymore. That's literally what I'm getting here. All right. Group 1, spiritual guidance going forward. Have mercy. And Hierophant, Taurus energy, Scorpio energy, the Death card, more Taurus energy with the World, Cancer energy. I'm also getting some Capricorn. The Emperor is going to be Aries. The Sun is Aries. Here's your guidance. The Hope card comes out, and Embrace Change. I'm going to read the Embrace Change card. It's number 29. All right. Change, new beginnings, and transition. As the saying goes, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Change is inevitable and is embedded at the very core of life. Everything in nature is constantly changing. Trying to resist change is not only futile, but can cause stress and create blockages in your life. Y'all, I can account to that. Front row seats. I'm just saying. The angels ask that you recognize the areas in your life where you need to break repetitive, non beneficial patterns. The old and familiar may seem to be safe, but at times you need to step into the unknown and trust that the angels will be there to assist you. Many opportunities await you, but require that you let go of one thing to be open to receive something new. The angels ask, do you hold on to the past at the expense of moving forward in your life? Yes, Spirit is calling me out bigger than all daylight. Do you fear the unknown and resist change? Tell yourself, with the support of angels, I embrace change. I make positive changes in my life in order to grow and move forward. I want to point out that 9 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy, means your focus now is financial independence. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Group 1, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to clean up, guys. Clean up, and we're going to go to group 2. And we're going to do it the same way, but we're going to look at work. Who picked group 1? Did it ring true? My readings are so harsh. Like, if you come over here for if you're looking for cherries and whipped cream, it's not over here. If you're looking for get your head out of your you know what and go make your money, that's what we're doing here. I know, right? Vanessa says me, yes, I love it. Choosing divine. Dina says yes, sweet. All right, let's get to group 2. You know why Spirit made us go through this Mars retrograde, why we learn these lessons right now? Because the state of the world, y'all, the state of the world, not just the US where I'm at, it's literally the state of the world. And now is our time to shine, for real. Sherry says we need the spankings. We do. But it is because it's our time to shine. The world needs love. The hate is being fueled by the second. You can't have conversations with people without people calling each other names and belittling one another and just showing such hatred for one another. And I'm just saying, me, the angry Aries Rosa, this anger that we have been transmuting for the last, several weeks now, um, has been a humbling experience, I think is what the word is. I think definitely has taken me down a notch. And I don't say that in a bad way. Um, More controlled, more defined. um, and it just better. But I feel like we definitely need to find more of this energy, more of this, especially now as we're moving forward and being tested in our everyday life by our, friends and families and neighbors and coworkers and just strangers on the street, right? Um, so yeah, that's what we're here. We're here to help the world awaken, and we do that by loving people unconditionally. Yes, genuine unconditional love. Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's timestamp group 2. Let's wait for it. 4540. All right, group 2, here we go. Mars retrograde. Okay, so I felt like with group 1, that energy could have potentially already happened. It does feel like there was some type of breakup or some type of split in a relationship. And now the focus is, financial independence. So that's how group 1 went. So if you picked group 2, I'm focusing on your work situation. And if you're like, I work from home, Rosa, nobody pisses me off, not true. I promise I will find what triggers you. And if you're like, well, I don't work, I stay home with my family, and that is a job, that is a full-time job. If you have family and a job, you have actually 2 jobs, just in case you didn't know. But I promise you, I will find what it is that's pissing you off. All right, group 2, let's find the emotional intensity. That's what I'm looking for, the emotional intensity. Look at that. The lovers comes out right away. I'm going to say huge emotional intensity. Anytime there's a major arcana, that's divinely fated energy. It says spirit has stepped in, right? And probably because we couldn't get it right. Spirit's like, y'all, let me spank you straight. All right, so Queen of Wands is also coming out. This could have something to do with imposter syndrome, actually. It does. All right, and the World is here. Group 2. So remember, I'm focusing on your work situation. If you picked group 2, you're dealing with imposter syndrome. We're all dealing with imposter syndrome. I love you all. Please hear me. I feel like this holds us back so much, so much. Okay, so I am taking a new class. I've only had 2. Today was the second one. They're 1 a week, and they are, I don't know how to say this without just saying it. Um, they're witchy healing classes, okay? I don't know. I'm learning how to, like, use stuff and make myself healthy and have healthy practices so I can have a healthy body, and I'm learning to implement what I've learned in the spiritual into my physical world. And when I feel comfortable enough that I feel like it's working. Guys, it's working. I just want to say. But when I feel more comfortable about that and I actually have like numbers to show you and things like that, then I will, we'll talk about it. But I was already doing it, and all I did was go take a class now so that I can kind of like put words to what I'm doing. See, y'all, spirit guides me and tells me what to do, but spirit doesn't sit me down and go, Rosa, we're doing this because, you see what I'm saying? I just do it, and then it's like, well, why? Why do I have to do it? I want to know, right? Like I need it broke down a little bit more, right? Okay, so in this class, imposter syndrome is one of the key terms that she touches on, because when you're a spiritual leader, when you're a person having a spiritual awakening and you're out sharing that, with the world, you could feel like, well, who the heck am I? Rosa and Katie's, whatever. Or now I'm in Illinois, but you know what I'm saying? Like, who's this person out in the middle of nowhere to tell me, you know what I mean, how to have my spiritual awakening, or what I'm supposed to be focusing on, what I'm supposed to be doing, or, yada, 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 right? And that happens to all of us. It literally happens to all of us. Okay. I have people that, like, you all would not believe who is getting like private readings, you know what I mean, who's getting like live tarot readings. People that you would think have, not good careers, or people that help other people, like, teachers and counselors and things like this, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, we're all the same, and we're all dealing with the same things. And our imposter syndrome, thinking that our experiences are not enough to share with other people, or they're not worth enough to share with other people, is only holding you and the collective back. Does that make sense? Because it's holding you back because you can't believe in yourself to allow yourself to move forward. And it's holding the collective back because you're in the collective for a reason. Whatever you're transmuting and healing is helping the collective, which in turn helps the world, right? Like, that's what we're doing. I know it sounds like a lot of lulu lala. If you're not having a spiritual awakening, I mean, what are you even doing here, right? But the rest of us that are watching, we're having a spiritual awakening, and we know what that means. So it's like, not only are you holding yourself back with imposter syndrome, but you're holding the entire collective back with imposter syndrome. So stop letting something that you think, well, I don't know enough. I just started healing myself. I don't know enough. Y'all, I waited a whole year before I came out to the world about my awakening, right? Before I started PLR, before I hit the button, right? And I think all the time, I see it all the time, all these different opportunities and things where I feel like I'm just a little behind. And every time I feel like I'm a little behind, I'll ask spirit, like, why am I still here trying to do this? Why is everybody else already there and I'm still here? And then spirit will remind me, remember, Rosa, remember when you wanted to go this way? You wanted to go here because you thought you weren't ready, or you didn't do this, or you didn't know enough of that. Remember that? You see what I'm trying to say? So you are ready from day one. Day one, you're ready. Tell people what you know. Tell people what happened to you. Tell people how you got through something. Write a book, write a poem, paint a picture. Turn that pain into something beautiful, right? Don't let the imposter syndrome keep you stuck in this loop. If you picked group 2 and you were like, I don't even know if I'm having this awakening, I don't even know if I can tell people what's happening. The Lover's card was the first card out. I mean, come on. All right, let's look at your triggers. So I'm going to say work situation, some type of imposter syndrome. Maybe you work with your twin, very possible. I mean, that happens. But I think it's more about, you're on a spiritual awakening journey. You need to be more confident in who you are. There could be a group of people. I don't think it's just one person with that world card. But it's like, this imposter syndrome is slowing you down from something. It's keeping you from some door being able to open. look at your triggers. The Empress. So what you have or your position. Maybe you think you don't have enough. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough. So the Empress is like, one, it's fertility, but it's more about like your connection to spirit. It's more about your ability to create. So your triggers could be when people don't see your connection to spirit, your ability to create. I think before you would run away, and I think now you're facing your triggers. The Tower comes out. So I think before you would run away, group 2, Knight of Swords. It's my clue card for a breakup. But it's the card that says you're courageous enough to deliver a message about communication, talking to someone, clarity, understanding. But see how he's running back to her? So the Empress, again, that's going to be your energy. So it's like, I'm looking at your triggers. The first card out is the Empress. So it's like, unless there's an Empress around you, like someone, I don't know, that you've put up on some pedestal, group 2, for whatever reason, take them down. But I mean, that could be very possible that you put someone up there and they trigger you. Very possible, but I don't think so. I think this is you, and you get triggered when people don't recognize who you are or see who you are or how powerful you are or what you can create. And instead of being courageous enough to communicate with them and be like, hey, I need you to see me and what investment I'm putting in or what I'm creating to put into this work situation, whatever. And instead of doing that, you just kind of run and go away, maybe ghost, maybe hide, right? The Knight of Swords. But the Tower card coming out says you've experienced some type of major Tower moment. And again, could have been very recent. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to face this trigger a different way. I'm not going to run like I have every time before, right? All right, so let's see how your response will be received. So we got some Libra energy, Gemini. Again, I'm getting Capricorn up here. The Four of Cups comes out. So Four of Cups could be about ignoring something, not paying attention to something. Wheel of Fortune says something bends in your favor. The Death card is here, massive transformation. Okay, so maybe group 2, you're used to running or not telling people how you feel, because before, when you would tell people how you feel, maybe they didn't pay attention, maybe they didn't care, and Spirit's showing you that that's different. People care. People care. They want to know. They want you to say things. So massive transformation. The old way of doing something is completely done. Scorpio energy strongly. All right, let's pull some angel inspiration for guidance for group 2. The Wheel of Fortune, good luck, good fortune, things bending in your favor. It's going to be Jupiter energy. Jupiter energy. Jupiter, of course, natural ruler of Sagittarius. All right, let's see what comes out. Spiritual guidance going forward. 41, compassion and silence your thoughts. This is the one we're going to read, number 10. I don't think you have a problem showing compassion, group 2. I think you fear that people won't show you compassion. All right, Spirit says, silence your thoughts. So the keywords are going to be silence, clarity, and peace of mind. Our minds are constantly full of chatter and wasteful thinking, which keeps us in a state of stress. Worrying about the past or the future prevents us from experiencing the present moment. It's important for you to learn to quiet the mind, to dispel all unnecessary and negative thoughts. This can only be done by finding time to be alone and going into your own self. Guys, we did a members only guided meditation, cleansing, and clearing yesterday. If you guys have not had a chance to check that out and you're a member, I would definitely say go make sure to check it out. It is posted. You can watch it as many times as you would like. Sister told me we did a good job. I would like to I feel like it's one of the better ones I've done. It was my first live guided meditation. I'm the Aries. I'm going to be picky on myself and I'm going to pick on things and find things that I want to change. But I feel like it came out really, really well and could be helpful, especially if you picked group 2. All right. So the angels ask, do you constantly fret and worry about the past, present, and future? Is your mind constantly full of negative thoughts and other unnecessary chatter? Tell yourself, I am a master over my own thoughts. I release all the negative messages in order to live fully in the now. And one last thing I want to say to group 2, if you chose group 2, if you're feeling this obsessive negative thinking, and you don't know how to make it stop, I'm about to tell you. Are you ready? And this may work all the way up until May when we come out of the Mars retrograde shadow period. But Mars is passionate energy. Passionate energy is creative energy. Creative energy is what spirit gives you in order to follow your purpose. When you're feeling like you can't shut it off, like you can't slow it down, go create something, make something, draw something, sing something, dance to something. I don't know, make a food, cook, but you want to create because that's how you're going to transmute that energy. That's how you're going to slow down the mind. That's how you're going to slow down those racing thoughts. You're going to channel all of that into your creativity, and it's going to come from your mind straight out your fingers. That's how that's going to work. All right. I hope that helps group 2. All right. So we're going to clean up one last time. And we'll move on to group 3. So we did love, work. Now we're looking at home. Sherry says, I've always been a runner, not again. It took me a long time, it took me several years to realize that I was the runner. I know. It was definitely one of those days, though, where it's like when you get that aha moment, talk about leveling up. Guys, we have a new listing in the Etsy shop. Etsy shop will stay open. If anything ever happened and I got too busy in there, I can always pause and slow it down. But I've got the new 2025 reading. I know we're already in February. I am still looking. I just did one, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But I'm still looking at all 12 months. I still start at January, and I just give you confirmation of what happened. But we still look at all 12 months. And guys, we are still doing, oops, sorry, my bad. We are still doing the raffle as well. The raffle is hopefully going to help me get my camper ready and fixed up. The raffle is $5 tickets, and you can get as many as you would like from today until I believe it's the 22nd. And then we are drawing for 2025 Lunar New Year preview, guys. So I'm starting with the Aries solar eclipse at the end of March, and I'm going to tell you how that energy is going to affect you personally based on your birth chart, and then how that energy will carry out through 2025. So if you guys are interested, make sure to ask me how, right? Michelle says, this entire reading goes with the journaling I did yesterday. Huge confirmation. I love it. Dina says, I wrote some poems but felt imposter syndrome. Oh no. All right, let's get started. Group 3. Let's timestamp. Let's wait for it. Let's do 105:40. All right, group 3. Mars retrograde. What did you learn? All right, the emotional intensity. I'm looking at the who, the what, the where, the how, and we're looking at your home situation. Home situation. The Empress comes out again. The Empress is going to be your creativity, connection to spirit. 4 of Pentacles comes out, holding on to something too tightly. So I just want to say the emotional intensity is going to be high. We had Major Arcana, I feel like, for all 3 groups. First card out, Major Arcana, which meant that the emotional intensity was like, pow, in your face. You got to face it. You can't run from it type of thing. And this could definitely have been something, if you pick group 3, that you may have tried to run from for a long time. And I just want to point out that we're looking at your home situation, and the 10 of Pentacles comes out. 10 of Pentacles is like goals, achievements, but it is about, it's Pentacles, so I know it's like work, but it's also home, because remember, Pentacles encompass everything, and the 10 of Pentacles actually shows a home environment with like your spouse, your parent, your children, pets, all of this type of stuff. It's literally, it means having everything, right? So if you picked group 3 in the home situation, I feel like you were holding on to something too tightly, that could have been like suffocating the creativity, like not letting it breathe, not letting it out. You've let go of something, and now you're going after what it is that you want. So it's like something was blocking your doorway, and you've removed whatever that was blocking the doorway. Powerful energy with that Empress card. All right, let's keep going. What was your trigger response? New response? The Queen of Pentacles comes out, the Queen of Swords comes out, and the 3 of Swords comes out. So this is super easy. Are you ready? Group 3. Don't shoot the messenger. Queen of Pentacles is learning to become your own resource. It's money. Queen of Pentacles, not the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. She's a giver. She's like overgiver. You know who's not an overgiver? The Queen of Swords. Well, I mean, she'll overgive in words. she'll cut you down with some words. um, but yeah. So group 3, overgiving, and you've drawn a hard line. I do feel like that is a big change for you. I feel like it's hard for you. It's hard for me. If you picked group 3, I pick group 3 all the time, y'all. It's hard for me. I want to just run and help and give and do, but I can't. And when I do, sometimes I get in trouble. So, but what's cool, group 3, is even though it's hard, you're still doing it. You have new boundaries. You have new boundaries, and you're enforcing those boundaries like never before. All right, let's look and see how this new response will be received. All right, 2 of Swords comes out. 8 of Pentacles comes out. Let's get one more, please. It's not one more. Nice. Sweet. Wheel of Fortune on the bottom again. Things work in your favor. It does say that things bend in your favor. So I feel like things were not bending for a minute. So it's good. Things start to turn and get better. How the energy is perceived, I feel like at first they don't know how to handle it. You were giving, doing. Now they're having to learn to do something on their own, group 3, and they're not sure how to handle it. I do feel that you teach people by example. The 8 of Pentacles is focus, work, dedication. I think someone could be watching you learn like how you do something, most likely drawing this boundary. But in the end, Knight of Pentacles is here. So it's like in the end, at first this person doesn't know. Like, I don't know how to handle it. But in the end, they're all in. All right, let's get to work. This is how I shuffle the oracle cards. These are bigger. All right, let's pull some guidance for group 3. Withdraw comes out. I feel like that's confirmation for this second row here. It was hard. It was hard to pull back and not just keep giving. It's like your innate nature. You just want to. You just feel like you're supposed to. There's a generosity coming out. Happiness is on the bottom, group 3. Let's read generosity number 44. Gratitude, appreciation, thanks, wrong card, sorry. All right. Generosity, charity, support. Generosity comes in many forms. In modern society, it's easy to feel one is being generous by giving financial gifts. Although at times organizations and people may require financial assistance, there are other ways to support them. Helping others does not always require you to dig in your pockets. Are you guys listening to confirmation? Look, so you don't think I'm making it up. Look at this. It literally says, although at times organizations and people may require financial assistance, there are other ways to support them. Helping others does not always require you to dig in your pocket, but more importantly, to dig into your heart. Facts. Assisting another human being can be as simple as sharing your time and energy. Look around you and find the area in your life where a little more generosity can help heal and support a friendship, a family, or a community. And if someone shows their generosity to you, accept it with gratitude and love and pass a little of it to others. The angels ask, do you generously give of yourself to those in need? Do you graciously accept generosity from others when offered to you? Tell yourself, I generously give of myself to others who are in need of help, and I am grateful for all the generosity bestowed onto me. That's it, group 3. I hope that was helpful. Now I'm going to share a little personal experience. No names mentioned, of course. But I met this person, and it doesn't matter when or where or none of that. But this person at one time needed some help, and they were in a tight situation, um, and had some, dependents. And I was like, I don't have any money, but I have resources, right? And I know where to find the help that you need. So I picked up my phone. That's not true. I didn't really know, but I picked up the phone and I started calling until I went through my, all the resources I had until I found the help that that person was going to need. And then I put that help in contact with that person, right? And then when I did that, that person, I guess, I don't want to like, here's where I'm going to go astray. I don't want to say anything mean about anybody, but it was like, you ever help somebody and then all of a sudden they're messaging you a week later for $20? And you're like, I'm sorry, I don't have an extra $20. I run my own business. I, keep my prices very affordable so that I can be, helpful. And, I'm learning that I don't really need a lot of stuff, right? That's where I'm at in my spiritual awakening. And then a week later, it was like, oh, I need to borrow another $20. And a week later, I was like, no, absolutely not. Do not message me again. You know what I'm saying? um, so I feel like I just got that lesson where it's like, yes, we can help people. It needs to come from the heart space, most definitely. But do not let people take advantage of your kindness. Do not let people mistake your kindness for weakness, right? Like, do not do that. All right, guys, that's it. That's Mars retrograde coming to an end. Please remember, shadow periods will last all the way until May, which just means that this overly emotional and frustrated energy will kind of wean its way out as it's going out, right? Guys, take caution this weekend. I don't know why, but I feel like Spirit's telling me that we're all going to get a little bit of poking the bear, maybe, and that could be a little bit of a testing period for us. Absolutely look for rewards when you pass those tests, right? Learn to appreciate these triggers because they are definitely helping us level up, right? All right, guys, I will be back Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night, 223 at 8 p.m. Michelle's already posted. I love you, Michelle. Thank you so much. And again, we may have cards. I may be right here. We don't know. But I may not. We may have video and I may be working on a camper. So we just don't know yet, right? But join me anyway. I promise to be here 8 p.m. Central Time, Sunday night. I will read for the collective and I will offer some free and paid mini readings. All right, guys, I hope all the information was helpful. I love you guys so very much. All my moderator ladies, thank you so much. Sister was over on TikTok. I hope I forgot to go over there and check. Oh my gosh, I'm awful. I know, y'all. We're going to get better on the TikTok. I promise. I promise. All right, guys, I love y'all, and I'm always, always sending you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.